In all of the previous intro movies, really, we're looking at the the levels palette to make tonal adjustments, and following that we've been looking using curves to make tonal adjustments. I purposely haven't mentioned that up until now anyway, and let's bring up curves, that the adjustments that we've made both in levels and both with curves, we've been adjusting the RGB channel, in other words the red, green and blue channel, all at the same time really, whereas a more advanced approach, and an approach that will give you more control with your images, for both in terms of contrast and later on in future movies when we're looking at adjusting colour, you wouldn't work this way. You would work in the channels individually. So in other words, we can see that this is the red channel. Now in this particular image, the information in these channels, I've had a look, it's going to be more or less the same, but still, and going on what we did earlier, I would still shift click and place control points down and be watching those control points, but we would make adjustments to the channels individually, because in certain images they may need more of a contrast curve in the red channel and a different shape curve than it might do in the green channel. And you can see, because I'm just adjusting these channels individually, you'll notice that, have a look at this green value now. When I'm adjusting the green, you can see it's only that green value that's changing, and so we can be a bit more equal in things that we're trying to do with these individual channels, and keeping an eye on the target value. It's just a better way to work and a more accurate way to work. And again, if you watch the blue value there, you'll see the blue value changing on the highlights and also on the shadow. Now don't pay no attention to the way the image is looking in terms of colour at the moment, because there's another important trick that we're going to do. But we're not looking at what's changing with the colour. Don't forget, we're in these movies, we're looking at what's happening in terms of contrast, and we're looking at the image purely for contrast, so before and after. Now if I click OK, I mean, the image doesn't look half too bad, to be honest, but the trick is, once you've edited your curves in the individual colour channels, we only want this layer to actually affect the luminosity and not the colour. And this is very important that we change the mode here to a mode of luminosity, and that means it will only affect the luminous values of the image. The colour is actually coming from the layer underneath. Now, as I said, pay no attention to the colour at the moment, just have a look at the luminous values changing now. Okay, we can add colour to this file later on at another time, and we will be doing that in future movies. So for now, just be aware of the fact that it's really it's more difficult, but you should be adjusting with curves using your individual color channels and then changing this layer to luminosity. And a very simple quick fix, I mean, we'll do a simple fix here. We could then add some more color with hue and saturation, and then just boost the colors up this way. We'll be doing it in a different way in future movies, a more advanced, more controlled way, but you can certainly just add some more color back into the file that way for now. So once again, I'll show you before and after, and I can do that by the eyeball here. If I alt click the eyeball, it will turn these two layers off above. Alt click, that was before, and I'll hold down the alt key and click again. So that's before and after. So that's using the individual color channels to create S curves in a slightly more controlled and a more advanced, a better way. It will give you better results in the long run.